Holy crap, that's such a hit.
So they released their top 10 offenses. Colorado's number 8.
This moment in sports history will be remembered as one of the better fights, man. Like,
Put the cherry on top, they played Austria today. Guess the score of that game? 32-25 to not medal for bronze.
Hello and welcome to Bros in the Bleachers podcast episode Ocho. Thank you for guys tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe. If you're a shorts viewer, subscribe to the pod, watch the long format videos, go to our TikTok, Bros in the Bleachers, follow us on Spotify, do all that, be a first row bleacher bro. And these are your hosts. I'm Drew.
I'm Matt.
and I'm Jake. Welcome to the pod, everybody.
We're all hosts now. We got the three back in today. We have a loaded show for you guys. We'll go through a quick rundown. This day in sports history, current events, our bench or play. We have our worst tweet. We have our new segment, our college football preview, and then we have our bleacher rankings for ESPN The Ocho sports we would
Ocho.
participate in.
Best weekend of the year.
So we got a lot to go off today. So I'll start off in this day in sports history.
On this day in sports history.
It's a birthday. The great Jeff Gordon, NASCAR driver, 4-time Cup champ, 91 races won in the Sprint Cup. Guy's a legend. From Indiana, moved to California. An elite race car driver. You could make an argument he's on the Mount Rushmore for NASCAR drivers. So that's what I had today in sports history.
His paint scheme was elite.
The Rainbow Warriors, then leading to the Sick Flames on the car. Jake, I don't know how much NASCAR you.
I was just gonna say you are zooming by me, pun intended there for sure. But Drew, I
That
know
was
you're
great, Jake.
Thank you. Drew, I know you're a big NASCAR guy. Where does Jeff Gordon rank on your let's call it like Mount Rushmore of NASCAR drivers? Where's he at for you? Is he on there? Is he your
Yeah,
George
he's
Washington
for
of
sure
your
top
Mount
10.
Rushmore?
Top 10.
Probably
Okay.
top 5.
Yeah, there's so. I mean, you could Richard Petty, maybe Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, David Pearson. There's a lot of old legendary drivers that you can add. Dale Earnhardt,
Mhm.
that I'm sure some old.
Jimmy Johnson, I think, gets overlooked too.
Yeah, so I would say top 10, no particular order. Not trying to start any controversy because NASCAR fans are very opinionated. But yeah, that's what I had for today. So what did you guys have for today?
Well, I'll run next because I also have an auto racing day in sports history, but it's not NASCAR. It is F1. So an Argentinian driver, Juan Manuel Fangio, clinches record 5th F1 Drivers' Championship and his 4th consecutive while driving the German Grand Prix at Nuremberg. He held this record. I'm going to look it up right now. I want to say it was for 46 years. He held that record of having not only 4 consecutive, but 5 total championships, and got overtaken by the one and only Michael Schumacher, who definitely is, if not the George Washington of that Mount Rushmore of F1.
Yeah.
He is definitely on that mountain for sure.
What years did did Juan Manuel win those championships in? Because I haven't heard of him in particular.
This is from 1957.
Okay.
So it looks like he won the title 5 times in 1951, and then just went on a legendary streak from 1954 through 57, where he won 54, 55, 56, 57. So the Argentinian was hauling.
So not taking away from Michael Schumacher's wins and Lewis Hamilton and stuff like that, but that's when real men race. And there's like no safety
Yep.
regulations,
Yep.
stick shift, by the way, stick shifting gears and having the hand reactions in those F1 cars was remarkable. So balls of steel for that man.
Kudos to him. Again, I don't think that I could even probably go on a modern day go-kart and feel comfortable with me being able to zoom around the cars. But again, kudos to these guys. They're probably losing screws on certain turns. Again, we're talking about 1950s automotives here. So
Dude,
those qualities that might
even-
have been,
Even like NASCAR in like the 70s or 80s and early 90s, my God.
Oh yeah.
Just that was super dangerous. That one was like actually very dangerous. Now, I don't think anyone has died in NASCAR since Earnhardt, right, Drew?
No, Adam Petty passed away in I think around that same time. No, yeah, I don't think anybody has since then. No, I feel like there's somebody, but I can't remember.
Because we have seen some mega crashes. Like that
especially in
Ryan.
F1 too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the safety's insane.
Yeah, they need it, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. So,
Mhm.
I love it.
uh, Matt, what did you have for today?
So I had all the way back in 1936, Jesse Owens winning his second gold medal in Berlin. You guys know where Jesse Owens went to college? I need a name drop it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ohio State.
So like I only know that because I'm driving around and then a lot of the buildings or some of the buildings here or in streets are named after him. And I was like, oh, I put two and two together.
He was behind a lot of sports science leading into track and field. I mean, he's one of the greatest Olympians to have
Yeah.
graced the track and field. So, uh, definitely a lot of history made from Jesse Owens. That's for sure.
For sure.
Go. All right. Well, that wraps up today's sports history. We're gonna move on to current events. Would anybody like to lead us off for current events?
I'll go.
Let's hear it,
So
Matt.
boys, I was getting my hair cut on what was it? I think Wednesday, and they had the TV at the chair. And Katie Ledecky was swimming the 1500 meter during that time. There was no one else in the frame.
For
Like
real.
she was so far ahead. And I mean, I think she won by 10 seconds. I'd have to double check. I mean, she obliterated everyone. And for like half the race, there is no other swimmer in the TV frame. It
10
was
seconds
wild.
in swimming is
I
the
know.
equivalent to a
And
mile.
let me try to double check it. I'll
Matt, I
um
just checked it for you actually. So it took her 15 minutes, 30 seconds to swim the 1500.
yeah, who was
Uh,
second?
a woman from France finished about 10 seconds behind to take the silver.
Dude, that's insane.
Lungs of
So,
steel.
You
I
know,
mean,
it's crazy when you see these athletes, especially swimming 1500 meters. Like that's again, I feel like that's just an incomprehensible distance for me to be able to be like, oh yeah, I could swim that. Like
bro, I
I
can't
feel like
even run 1500 meters.
that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Kudos to
Uh,
Katie. She's the goat.
a
Yeah.
literal mile to convert for our American
There we go.
Yeah,
viewers.
I stand by what I said. I can't even run 1500 meters.
Yeah, that's quite
Um,
remarkable what she's done. She's
all
our goat for swimming.
yeah. The new Big Ten commercial dropped. You guys know the famous original OG
All the
Big Ten
maps.
commercial. So yep, the maps staple here. Now the new one just dropped this week. So they've added Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA. It starts off at the Pacific Northwest, works its way down to LA, and then zooms back up to the original. It's I'm glad they kept it.
I
Like,
think you would have heard a lot of uproar if they didn't. I mean, how hard could it have been
True.
to just add for colleges?
dude, when I see that commercial in a Fansville, Dr. Pepper Fansville commercial in the fall, you know life is good.
You know it's time to party at that point.
I don't care if my 10 leg parlay is gone to shit. When I see those two things, I'm happy.
When that
There you
music
go.
hits.
I
Yeah.
will say the fact that Dr. Pepper has invested so much, I'm just going to say it, dollars and cinematic time and effort into being able to make these whole Fansville commercials. I like it. To your
I
point, like
love it.
it adds a little
Drew
bit of a
Drew
flair to
hates them.
watching it.
I stand with my king, Dr. Larry Culpepper, the inventor of the
Yeah.
college football playoff. So
There you go.
Yeah. No, they're dude, that I think if we were to power rank sodas in a future segment, Dr. Pepper's my number one, followed very, very closely by Baja Blast.
they
That's
also
a
releasing
tease for the future.
Talk
Huge big tease.
Taco Bell was releasing Baja Blast ice cream. I don't know if you guys saw that. I would
Dude,
try it in a heartbeat.
Jesus. I don't know.
I would
I don't know
try it
about
for
that.
sure. I think that seems to be more of like a what I would want in a sherbet more than an ice cream, you know.
Yes. No, yeah, Jake, that was a great way to put it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, my last thing. Do you guys remember who Jake Olson is? About
Oh, the
10,
blind
yes. So
snapper for
yes. Yeah, yeah,
USC.
yeah. Yeah, so about 10 for our viewers who don't remember, 10, 15 years ago, I forgot the exact year, the team he was on. Jake Olson was a blind long snapper for USC. Um, I think he appeared in a couple games, actually snapped it, like a huge story. And this week on Twitter, he put out a tweet in alluding to all of the offseason driving issues Georgia football has been seeing. And Jake said, I could have driven to practice if I were to have long snapped at Georgia. That's hilarious.
And that's an all-time tweet right there. That's phenomenal.
I thought it was fake. Like I thought it was a troll account. No, he
Why'd
tweeted
you
it.
save it for best worst tweet?
Oh no. I have another tweet that I wanted to pop off about, but I thought that was hilarious that he tweeted that Georgia football shambles right now off the field. So yeah, that wraps it up for me for the current.
I don't know what you're gonna have to top that tweet, but I'm looking forward
Fair.
to it. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and lead us off next. NFL news: Tyreek Hill signs a big contract extension. He just finished his current contract with the Chiefs after he got a trade over to the Dolphins. Signs 3 years, 90 mil, 65 million guaranteed. Do you think that contract was worth for Tyreek Hill?
Well, he needs it for the
100%.
child support.
outside
Bro.
of the financial value right there.
He
you
could
are-
field the practice squad with his kids alone.
Well, on top of him getting paid, Tua's paid. Looking for the future for the Dolphins, they're all in. I don't know how they're going to be successful coming out in future seasons, so it's going to be interesting how they're going to draft coming up in the future years. So,
Yeah, I don't know how you don't pay a guy like Tyreek, though. I think that that's worth every single dollar of it. I think at this point, it's really being able to evaluate whether the dollars you're paying Tua, like you just said, really end up coming into fruition, right? Like it's kind of like the classic story I feel like that you hear across sports. Like the Cowboys are in the same position, right? Like if the Cowboys pay Dak and they pay CeeDee Lamb, I feel like the money that you paid Dak should be evaluated harder than it should be the money that you're paying CeeDee Lamb. And that's just maybe
Yes.
my own personal opinion on it, but
Hey, quick question. Honest answers. Ready? If you were to line up at the 20-yard line and Tyreek's at the goal line, could you beat him to the 40-yard line?
absolutely not.
no, there's no way.
There's
You
no
have
shot.
you have a 20-yard head start.
Like I got wheels, let me tell you, but that's a
You
different kind of
only
beast.
got to run 20 yards. He has to run 40.
Matt, you said you couldn't run 1,500 meters. Like 5 minutes ago.
Hey, I can do my bursts.
You got the
Jake, I did. Me and my friends got our 40-yard timed in the
This is
shoe.
good.
Okay, wait, don't tell me your time yet. I want to guess.
Hey, wait. I was in Vans and jeans.
No.
Oh, you're setting yourself up for failure right there,
I
my
know,
friend.
I
Okay.
know.
Concrete or grass? Are you getting good traction?
We're
or-
on the turf at OSU. We are on the field inside the shoe.
All right, so let's say that a solid NFL player is getting a 4.7. I think Matt's doing at least the inverse of that, and I'm gonna say 7.4 and give you some
6'1".
You're close.
All right. Look at that. The jeans really threw me off. I feel like if you were in shorts,
And-
maybe you shave off a couple milliseconds there.
And what's funny is I probably finished second or third out of my 7 friends.
Look at that. I didn't know we were on a podcast with a speed demon right
I
now.
know.
Come on. Look
I
at
know.
that.
Maybe we'll have, if the future allows it, a Bros in the Bleachers 40-yard dash race and a go-kart race.
Oh
See
my
who
God.
comes out on top.
Someone's getting hurt.
No safety flags.
But after that, too, also in the NFL, the new kickoff. I don't know if you guys saw the new kickoff.
Jesus. Ugh.
What are
Disgusting.
your guys' thoughts?
I get it. Like I know they're trying to reduce injuries. I completely get it, but it's gonna take some time to get used to.
It didn't even look like that big of a difference. I was still seeing guys get popped.
Oh yeah.
That I know that too. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
didn't really
I
make
don't-
a big difference.
I think cosmetically, like it just looks weird.
I agree.
The whole idea of like the landing zone and being like too perfect with it, like again, in certain sports, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Like in baseball, you have to be really perfect, right? Like when you think about a pitcher throwing, like even an umpire can't be perfect, but if they're throwing it within the frame that's like meticulously there, you're going to get your strikes. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when it comes to football, being able to say, this is the perfect 20-yard landing area and this is your impact zone, it just, to me, it sounds a little bit clustered. To Matt's point, I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to mitigate injuries in any way that they can. But I don't know if you allow football special teams to really exist like that, right? Like, are you going to see guys like Devin Hester returning 20 returns in a career now? I don't know. Now that this landing zone is a thing, you know?
I don't think it's gonna really make that big of a difference injury wise. At least you guys have the special team return team able to set up blocks and kind of slow these the opposing team to slow them down and block them versus having full on sprint to the receiver in less than 20 yards. I don't know. I don't know
I
the
mean,
science behind
dude,
it.
20 yards is enough runway for an NFL player to really get a lot of speed. So, like, to your point, I don't think it's that much of a difference. It's just the cosmetic part of it. It looks weird. I still think people are going to get hurt on those.
I agree too, but
That's the NFL, though. I feel like you're going to get hurt on any
Yeah.
side of the ball in any position, right? So to your point, like I would love to see it. It's kind of like what they did with like the helmet science, like probably about like let's call it 5, 10 years ago, right? Where they started adding like additional padding, and now 5, 10 years later, they've seen the results of this has actually mitigated concussions by X percentage. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we have to give it a full season at least and be like, all right, were there as many, if not less, career ending injuries or significant injuries that happened on these kickoff plays that this has actually cut it down by a third throughout the NFL season or something that's significant? You know, I'd be curious to see that.
no, I'll give them props for trying something new, but we will see how it plays out coming through the season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then lastly, just some baseball stuff. Luke Raley for the Seattle Mariners hit an absolute dong against the Phillies. I'm sure you guys haven't seen it, but it just looked like the most clean home run I've ever seen. Hit it 459, and then
459.
yeah, probably could have gone farther.
But what was Shohei Otani's home run last week in Minute Maid? That was
I
a bomb
believe it
too.
was 434 or 443 around there. It got hit by the stairs, so it doesn't really give it the full justice.
Yeah.
And then Ben Joyce, I believe, relief pitcher for the Angels, threw a 105-mile-per-hour pitch in
I
the
just
strike
saw the Ben
zone.
Joyce one right now. That
Oh,
is humming in.
absolute hoss. Man is throwing 93 octane. So
Pulling up,
that's all I had.
I'm pulling up the Raleigh home run right now. I just want to see what we're dealing with over here.
It looked flush. It was so clean. I'll give it some time.
Oh, there we go.
You saw it.
Yeah. That's some pure swinging right there. I feel like that's one of the things when it comes to like baseball that you can really appreciate is if you just get the right connection on it and it just looks nice coming all the way through. Like I feel like everybody talks about like best swing probably being like Ken Griffey Jr. just in
Mhm.
terms of like the connection, the follow through, the everything. So that's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't the longest home run, but it just looked flush when he did
Yeah.
make contact. So that's all I had. I know, Jake, you didn't have anything to mention for us this week.
Nope, we're
Skip.
skipping. Yeah, we're
No
skipping
Skip
me. No,
Bayless.
no Skip Bayless news. That it is a true skip, if you will.
All right. Well, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on to next. Our let's see. Did we want to go into our college football Power Four winners?
I think we should, yeah.
Okay. So we have
Nice little tease.
our college football Power Four conference preview. We have the winners. We're going to predict through sports betting. So we have the odds. Odds may vary depending on what sports book. Don't yell at us. But I'll let us. Who wants to go first?
Let's
We'll
have Jake go.
we'll start off
Wow.
ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, SEC. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that works on my side.
Start off with the ACC first, Jake.
All right, ACC. I'm going with Clemson. Clemson,
Yep.
Dabo's 14th season. We're going into something that hopefully just bring the Tigers back a little bit. Odds are plus 350 right now on the ACC. They're second according to the book I'm looking at right now with FSU at number one.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that might be the popular pick. But
Mm-hmm.
give me the Tigers. I love their color scheme. There's honestly not too much more to that really being that for me. ACC is not a huge conference that I'm watching all throughout the year, but definitely with
Yeah.
this expanded playoff, I feel like they're going to get at least one or two teams in. So definitely something that you're going to have to watch out for.
I also picked Clemson. I was bored on YouTube one day, like one evening after work, and a video about Cade Klubnik popped up, like just kind of like his day in the life. So he's the starting quarterback for Clemson, 5-star freshman last year. Um, just seemed like a great dude. I really liked him. So for that reason, I'm picking Clemson. But I just think Florida State's turnover with the starters that they lost. Um, I do, they are deep. They do have the DJ Ung, dude, I can't say his last name. Unguyale.
Ukulele?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's coming in from Oregon State. He didn't impress me too much at Oregon State. Definitely not bad, but I just think this year's Clemson's year in the ACC.
Do you not feel that DJ Ukulele's renaissance was not a renaissance in Oregon State? Do you not think he
I
had a
mean,
renaissance from leaving Clemson?
I feel like I feel like he was good at Oregon State with the system that they had. Plus, that team was loaded on defense. Plus, just the kind of the players around him on offense. I don't know. I Florida State. I'm not that high on. I think this is Clemson.
Well, Clemson didn't have any new transfers, and they did have some key players might be
Dude,
leaving. So
Dabo refuses to use the portal. He refuses. He hasn't had one portal player, I think.
nope, I looked. He had about 10 players leave too, it looked like.
Damn.
So I feel that I feel Florida State might pull it. Maybe DJ Ukulele carries that energy.
Ukulele.
Yeah, ukulele. Apologies. I think he carries that energy from Oregon State to the Florida State offense. Maybe they figure it out. Is it Mike Norwell, the head coach of
Mike
Florida?
Norville. Yeah.
Norville. I can't get names, but I think he figures it out with that offense and give me FSU plus 300.
Okay.
So moving on, the Big Ten.
Oh,
I'll start off the Big Ten. Ohio State at plus 150 and then Oregon at plus 210. If you want a little better odds, take Oregon. They're absolutely stacked. That offense will be a powerhouse, but Ohio State has both sides of the ball just stacked as well. So it'll be really tough to pick.
I'm picking Oregon. I think they're absolutely loaded. I think Dylan Gabriel is a much better quarterback than Will Howard. And no one can stop Oregon's offense. Tez Johnson, I forgot their other starting receiver, but them and Dylan, the defense is good. It's really good. It's not Ohio State good, but it's great. And the Ohio State Oregon game is in Eugene this year. I think the Ducks. They definitely. I think they win the Big Ten.
Look at you talking about fade and OSU. I love
I
the
know. I
week over
know.
week, a little bit of change. Life's good, you know.
As the weather gets colder, Matt gets more angry.
Can't blame him for that. Well, in a change of what I thought it would be, I will be taking OSU. I think that's free money. I think that plus
Dream.
150.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I think that again, for a team like that, they're going to be able to make a wave. And I think that again, adding in the competition of again some of these teams, I feel like they're just a prestigious football school at this point. I feel like adding in a couple of different hiccups, maybe like a USC or something like that comes in and they're probably going to be jazzed up to have that game. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's OSU is plus 150.
Jeremiah Smith is apparently better than what Marvin Harrison was as a freshman. So I
Yeah.
saw him at the spring game. He's great. Yeah, no, OSU. I think it's a toss up between OSU and Oregon.
Does Penn State make a sniff to
No.
potentially win?
No. Drew, no.
Hey, I will
Stop.
tell you, Penn State has a little bit of real estate in my mind simply because with the college football game, the whiteout that they'll do and they'll play Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're playing into that sphere at plus 500, I don't know. I don't know.
They
Dude,
could
I want to go to a
be
whiteout game so bad.
That'd be a fun one.
It is an electric house. They could be undefeated going up against Ohio State once again, November 2nd of this college football
Yeah.
season. So,
Remember when we were at that game, Drew?
yes, Drew Aller put on a clinic. Less
13
than 100
points.
yards.
God, what a of course is on Big Noon Saturday.
Yes, so that's the Big Ten. Give me Ohio State plus 150, maybe Oregon. Who knows? It'll be October 12th where you decide. So moving on to the Big 12.
All right, boys, this
No,
is it.
no
Our
bias,
conference.
no bias at all in this conference at all.
Not at all.
I think Arizona Wildcats plus 1200.
Wow, way to
Dude, I'm
way to sneak
surprised
that
it's
one in.
that high. Like, no respect for Arizona right
No,
now.
it's better for us. It's better.
I know.
We
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have expected it to be higher odds. I mean, I feel like when you look at this conference and you're talking about teams like Utah, Kansas State, like those are probably going to be teams that make the playoff regardless
Yeah.
of who ends up winning the conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope for Arizona, but again, value plus 1200. Bear down, baby.
I think when you have the best quarterback in the conference like Arizona does, Cam Rising's been out forever. No one give me that. I think Noah Fafita's better right now than Cam Rising is. Avery Johnson, Kansas State, he's great too. The Kansas quarterback, Jalen Daniels is great, but I think Noah Fafita is still the best out of the conference. And when you put him with Tedero McMillan, the best wide receiver in college football, not Luther Burden, just SEC bias there. It's not Luther Burden, it's T-Mac. Arizona's so undervalued right now. I get there's concerns with losing some of our stars on defense, but we're just so talented offensively, and we still have an stacked secondary. Give me Arizona. If I had to choose a team that wasn't Arizona, I would probably say Kansas State.
Do you think Dino Babers will have a good offense for this year?
Well, he better. He better.
According to the great Mike Luke, apparently it will be a run-heavy offense. Smash mouth.
Our running back room is loaded.
Oh yeah.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, future NFL player. Quali Conley, great running back from San Jose State. He put up mega yards against USC last year. Rayshawn Luke, probably one of the fastest dudes in college football. I mean, we're loaded at running back.
Yeah, so no bias there. Complete, unwavered, no biased opinions in this conference, but we'll go ahead and move on to our last conference, the SEC. Who do we like in the SEC? We have Georgia Bulldogs as the top dogs, Texas, Ole Miss, and then Bama as far as the top four.
All right, hear me out. Plus 750, Alabama.
Oh,
I don't love it, but I feel like you have to have at least one of those that you don't love, because I feel like with this whole Georgia saga that's going on, I'm not going to predict them to not make the playoff. I'm not going to go crazy here, you know what I mean? But I think that at the end of the day, we've seen these really competitive SEC schools get down to the wire where we're talking about tied records and playing in, I forget what the last week of the season is, that 16, 17 for college football, something like that.
16.
Yeah, you're playing in week 16. And, we're getting down to the wire here. Like, there's going to be a school like Alabama who has been there and they've got a deep roster that's not necessarily super young, too. I'm going to take the value there and just have some fun with it.
I agree with you. I think the SEC is a little bit more wide open this year than most years. I think 4 teams can win it. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but I think Ole Miss might win it. With Jackson Dart, that loaded offense, I just think it might be Ole Miss's time. But Georgia, I just think there's a lot of issues right now. I'm just not feeling Georgia this year. But I think Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, that's gonna be a fun race.
Oh yeah.
I think Ole Miss. They also added Walter Nolan, I believe, 5-star recruit, formerly, and they had also a really sick edge rusher in the transfer portal. So. Not as if Ole Miss might not have a good defense. I'm not very knowledgeable about the defense for Ole Miss, but they have some dogs on the D line to get after it.
Oh yeah.
So
that's gonna be a fun one.
I'll be crazy and go Ole Miss as well, plus 700.
Dude, it's gonna be hard watching the SEC on ABC. Come on.
It'll be fine. We'll all be all right.
Matt's the king of not liking change. So
You got that right.
Drew, if you don't mind, I want to sneak one in for us real quick.
Oh, I saw these
that's
on the notes.
right.
I saw these on
Yep,
the notes too. I want to
yep.
sneak it in
Jake,
too.
play it
I
down.
just something about today. I just woke up. I felt dangerous.
You felt fun. The
I
fun
felt
belt.
fun. I felt the fun belt coming in. So I'm gonna take Sun Belt Conference winner. It's gonna be
Let's
my
go.
shot in the dark, if you will. And if you guys would like to join me, I am just making up a segment on the shot on the spot of shot in the dark.
There are no
But I'm gonna
rules.
take the James Madison Dukes. I'm wearing purple. I believe I'm taking them in the Sun Belt. Again, this is their second year of the conference. Finished 11-2 last year. Won the conference. Kind of infamously known for being able to miss a bowl game and not being eligible for it, right? So I think that this year they're going to come out firing. I wore purple today. I think that plus 750, James Madison, lock it in for your Sun Belt Conference winner.
Sorry, Jake. I have App State.
Wow. You're not even wearing App State colors, dude. What the hell?
Dude, have you guys seen the backdrop to that stadium?
One of the best in
Oh my
all
God.
of sports, let
Oh
alone
my
college
God.
sports.
We got to do a Bros in the Bleachers live on scene from Boone, North Carolina, baby.
That would be a hell of a time. Let me tell you.
Don't hold your breath. Anything's possible, but
Drew, what do you think for Sunbelt?
I want to take James Madison, but they did have their head coach leave to Indiana. Is that correct? Cigarelli, whatever his name is.
Jordan McLeod also transferred to Texas State.
There's going to be some movement, but again, they're dogs. They're the Bulldogs. We went over this.
Start barking.
I'm not sure really who to pick. I'm not too knowledgeable on the Sun Belt, but give me Harrisonburg, Virginia, JMU.
Yeah. Hey, really quick, some action. Give me Miami of Ohio. Their defense is legit. Legit. If you want another good pick.
Oh, are they going to make the playoffs?
Remember when Miami of Ohio played at the U week 1 last year, and they were like, "We're gonna see who the real Miami is," and then they proceed to get curb stomped.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I think this year's Miami team's better than last year too with Cam Ward. But let's see how Mario Cristobal decides to see if he likes to have better game management.
Do you think they have QB Neal in their playbook now?
I hope.
He hates victory formation, hates it. And that'll wrap up our conference predictions for this coming college football season. We're going to move on to our bench and play. Who wants to lead us off first?
I'll lead us off.
Go for it, Matt. I need a second to mentally prepare how much I need to bench the people I'm about to bench. So please go for it.
Well, I am benching hard the new NFL onside kick rules. So, onside kicks are illegal before the fourth quarter. The team must be losing to kick an onside kick. Team must announce intention to kick an onside kick ahead of time. That one especially. You know what? I'll be mad at the first two, but you know what? I could accept those. The third one is insane.
I think it's pretty bush league. I forgot about this, to be honest.
Announcing the onside is awful. Awful. What happened?
Awful.
Think about like the Sean Payton Super Bowl call. You know what I mean? Imagine you have to now announce that before that happens. That's insane.
I know. And I wonder if this is like their safety play as well, because there are some mad collisions on onside kicks. So I get none before the fourth and none when you're losing, just to avoid just kind of only do it when you need to. But announcing it is insane.
If anything, I would think should make it easier to have onside kicks. That would just add absolute chaos to the stretch down in the fourth quarter. I think they should make it easier to have onside kicks. Would you guys agree or disagree?
I think in some regard, I feel like when it comes to the onside kicking thing, having just the announcing part of it, I just can't get my head around. You know what I mean? I feel like that just you take the integrity away of it. Where I feel like the best part about the NFL game is that coaches have their crazy schemes and their
Yeah.
tendencies. I mean, think about a guy like Dan Campbell, who he goes on it on fourth down, like relatively
I love
consistently,
him.
which is awesome, right? Like that's one of the best parts of football is being able to watch coaches put it all out on the line. And then again, for those crazy calls of onside when it makes sense, like, come on,
Do you
we got
think
to integrity of football has got to still be there.
do you think they're gonna put out a new rule that Sean Payton has to announce when he has a new bounty?
Uh, I feel like they covered that one.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But yeah, I feel it should be the element of surprise, having the absolute chaos of having an onside kick, being able to create the formations you want leading to it. It's just too many rules. It's less fun. I agree, Matt.
No fun league, baby.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and do my bench replay. I'm going to do two. I'm going to make it quick. Patrick Corbin, considered on the bench. I want this guy out of the MLB. He sucks. This guy has led in the past 3 years leading in losses for pitchers. 16 losses, 19 losses, 15 losses. Already had 11 losses, and we're maybe halfway through like 1 month after the All-Star game. This guy sucks. Get him out of baseball. Send him to the minors. I'm sick of him. I can't wait for his contract to finish, which is this year. Get him out of here.
Isn't he making like an insane like dollar amount too?
19 mil.
Yeah, disgusting.
And then moving on to my play.
I love it. I love
Hop
it.
off. Hop off, Drew.
Playing Jazz Chisholm swag on the Yankees. So sick. He has the sick Jordan 4s. He has the sick necklace. I don't know. I don't know if it's chrome hearts. I don't know what it's called, but it kind of looked like barbed wire. It was sick. His green belt, which I think stands out and pops, just something you don't see.
Dude, he makes the Fanatics jersey look good.
Yeah. The backwards cap. Now, I will say I don't want this become casual for other players to do because he can only do it. Everybody can't be doing it on the Yankees. It only him. He can pull it off. It just makes it special. So I'm playing Jazz Chisholm swag.
I agree with that play.
I saw that he had his first roll call and he did like a step back fadeaway type thing. He's got the swag for sure, Drew. But I'm gonna steal a little bit of that same energy that you just brought, where I'm gonna do a quick bench and play. For my bench, I am arguably the most furious I've ever been when it comes to men's U.S. Olympic sports. Our 3-on-3 team just absolutely sold out in this tournament. I mean, there's 8 teams in it, and we're the 8th ranked team. Like we were bad, and it wasn't close to being bad. We just lost our game versus the Netherlands in pool play, 21-6. Okay, 21-6. And for a nation that puts basketball on a pedestal, and we've got, 15 guys on that US men's team with a couple of guys that, like Kawhi, who went away for injury, right? Like I'm looking at just a list that came up on Google of like top US NBA players. I get it. This is the first time in the Olympics that this sport is being played, but calling out guys like, again, Jaylen Brown, how are you not pissed off enough to where you're not on the 5-on-5 team and just say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be on the 3-on-3 team and I'm going to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like there is just no excuse that again, Jimmer Fredette, college legend. I remember him at BYU. I remember him hucking up threes
legend,
40 something feet away.
Dude,
again,
March Madness Jimmer.
Oh, March Madness Jimmer. Yes, that's great. But this isn't March Madness Jimmer. This is Paris Olympics. You've got to now go defend somebody and make that shot. And that's not Jimmer Fredette, in my opinion, as a basketball somewhat guru that I like to think that I am. Again, a guy like Jaylen Brown, a guy like Donovan Mitchell, like guys that can play both sides of the ball and can just take over, send it. I don't understand that at all.
Is it possible for you to name some of the players that do they deserve to have their names said for the Big Three roster? Or the 3-on-3 USA basketball roster we had?
Oh, I mean, I can list it right now. We had Jimmer Fredette, Dylan Travis, Kareem Maddox, and Canyon Barry. Like Canyon Barry being, I want to say Rick Barry's grandson or son, some sort of related to the Barry family. He did have the underhand free throw, which was sick. But again, you're getting blown out 21-6. I don't give you the sick card anymore, even when you're doing underhanded free throws for that. No,
dude,
way.
I think that guy played at Florida. Because I think I remember seeing him, do that underhand free throw.
He did. Yep. And again, I appreciate the fact that this is the first Olympics. We're learning, whatever. I am frustrated. I want to see NBA guys compete in that event moving forward.
Yeah, I know we mentioned how European players have become a lot more popular and better as the years have come, but I don't think the Netherlands should be have been in that consideration. So
No.
Yeah, we just got clapped in almost every single game that we played. So, shout out to the women's team that's now made it to the semis, and hopefully they kick some ass tomorrow. But definitely benching the men's 3-on-3 team. And Distill Drew's energy, my play is I'm definitely playing Steven Nedorozic. Did you guys watch the pommel horse final or the gymnastics for men's, or do you have any idea what I'm talking about
Is
right now?
is that the guy who wears the glasses?
Hell yeah, it is, Matt. This guy
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Clark Kent on steroids.
He
Do
goes to
yourself
Penn State.
Yep. Oh, I think he graduated from Penn State or something in
okay.
that, but definitely from Penn State. But this guy is an absolute legend. Not only did he have a flawless routine when it came to the all around men's gymnastics team finals to then secure the bronze for the US, where the clip has now gone viral of him getting literally lifted up in the air. It has been insane watching him just absolutely conquer. But then yesterday was the pommel horse final for individuals. And he again had like a near flawless routine and ended up getting a bronze medal for himself individually as well. So my play is not only Steven Nedorozic, but that pommel horse needs to be in the discussion for sports that the U.S. needs to dominate at moving forward, because I did not know about how elite that sport can actually be. And just do yourself a favor and watch the clips, because holy moly.
America.
It's the pommel horse, the little it's like a kind of like a
it's like the
rectangle
beam
with handles on it.
And then it's got the handles on it.
Yes.
And Steven's doing one-handed twists on that. And again, I don't want to say that this guy invented the one-handed twist, but it took me seeing him do the one-handed twist thing, and then every routine after that, whether it was for the team event or for the individual event, someone's breaking out a Steven Nedorozic one-handed twist. So,
dude, how do you not murder your wrist on that?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't get it. Like, my God.
His
No, it's
digitator
crazy.
muscles are flexed.
And the other thing to know about him too, I just saw this as well. He was the 2021 national championship of pommel horse and became the first and is still the only American to ever win the event. So again, Steven repping out for the United States of America. I want to see him dominate in that sport and just overall gymnastics moving forward. But I'm calling out more people. We should all try the pommel horse, just see what we can do,
Can't be worse than my 40-yard dash.
Can't be worse.
40-yard dash, go-kart racing, Boone, North Carolina, and pommel horse gymnastics.
Put it on the roster,
Might as well at this point.
We've had quite the show today.
All around the map.
Electric House show today. Okay, well, that wraps up our venture plays. Now we have best worst tweet.
What did he say?
What do you mean? Brother, this guy stinks!
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Stuff we've seen on the internet. Who wants to go? Actually, I'll go first. We had Rashad Penny, former San Diego State, I believe, leading rusher in all of college sports, right? Yeah, elite running back. However, hasn't been as hot in the NFL. He had a little nice run in Seattle, now in Philly, but everybody knows, quote, everybody knows when I'm healthy, I'm probably a top running back in the league. And then 4 days later, he retired.
Unreal stretch.
Dude, hey, insert the gif of Aaron Rodgers running out the tunnel with the American flag for the first game, and then he's out.
Yeah, you're not. Or rest in peace, Vontae Davis, when he retired at halftime.
Or when AB ran off the field.
And then you had the peace sign, shirtless, walking off. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so that's what I had. What did you guys have?
Drew, that's elite. I'm gonna stick in the gymnastics world if you don't mind, and I'll pull up the clip, or I'll have you pull up the clip. But Elise D'Amato from the Italian gymnastics team was doing one of her routines, and the internet just stays undefeated because the way that they caught the angle of her running looks exactly like Isaiah Pacheco when he's
I saw that
down the field. And it's full, just throwing the shoulders, throwing the knees up. It's great, but she actually did phenomenal throughout the entire Olympics. She ended up unfortunately falling short of being able to get the gold. She ended up falling about 5.8 points away from the one and only Simone Biles. Ended up winning it with the team event that was there. But it was just, again, one of the best clips I've seen, where again you're just seeing going down, let's see her stiff arm, just different comments like that. It's Alice D'Amato, put her on the map.
Dude, when Pacheco runs, it looks like he wants to murder someone.
And Alice wanted to murder that routine. Let me tell you.
What we need to see in more NFL running backs, we need Alice and Isaiah Pacheco running styles, high knees.
Yep.
Maybe they should get married. See how their kid runs.
Highest knees of all time.
Yeah. All right, with mine, guys, I think half of my worst tweets have been related to Colorado football, and this week is no different. This week, there's a video that came out. Colorado was practicing, and on the back of each of the players' jerseys is their social media handles. So where you like during a normal game, during a normal jersey, when they have where they have the last names, instead they have their social media handles. I
You
don't,
hate that?
dude. What? Like why?
Why
Why?
not?
They
But
are like
why?
the most viral. They're trying to be the most viral school. You know what I
Like
mean? I
it's like
think they
what
want to
Dan.
play in. They want to play into the NIL field. You know.
It's what Dan Lenning said when Colorado went up to Oregon last year. Colorado was talking all that shit, spitting on the pregame, and Dan in the locker room is like, "They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins." Well, obviously Colorado hasn't learned anything because they got their ass stomped that game. And look, I hope they only win 3-4 games this year. So
I
no,
love it.
like, all
Death
right, dude,
taxes and Matt hating on Colorado.
all right.
Well,
What do
hey, I think that puts us at from other pods. Drew, you said I think it was 8 wins. I said 6 wins. Matt, you're putting yourself at 4 wins. Look at
four,
look at
four.
us. We are all over the map here,
Hey,
people.
hey, their schedule's not easy.
That's
Like,
we went over it. It was one of those things where it was like it's not a cakewalk in any of these games.
no, no. So yeah, that I just don't get it, like why you have to do that. But to each their own. So
Rowing the game, you could say Dion is just an absolute leader of men.
I hope they get
that
so many
program,
partnerships with so many fast food restaurants and just so many places where they just get easy cash and whatever. Like if you're
yeah.
doing stuff like that and it doesn't work, that's where it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to do that and then at least everybody's making money and the school's getting notoriety and to your point, even though they are fighting for clicks more than they're fighting for wins, if they're getting the clicks at least, like they're winning the game at
No,
least.
I get that part. It's just like I just hate how Dion's running it there. And when he leaves, which he will, that program's screwed for a while.
Well, we're gonna have to see how it all unfolds, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to our final segment, our final second segment in honor of our 8th episode. ESPN The Ocho is this week. Top 5 sports you think you would do well that are ESPN The Ocho related. So who wants it first?
I
Me,
can I
Jake?
can rip
Jake, you go.
yeah I can rip
Yeah,
one.
Jake thought of this idea, so Jake, you can
Yeah.
lead it off.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, Drew. Obviously the Ocho, the weekend means a lot to all of us in different meanings, but I think that when it comes to me, when I'm watching the weekend, not only do I always put on dodgeball, definitely got to check it out. But in terms of sports that I think that whether it would be myself or the people in here might dominate, the best one that I've seen that's been on the schedule is Slippery Stairs. Have you guys ever watched that event before?
I read it on the ESPN article, but I have not seen it. Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, no, my friend, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is slippery stairs. Imagine you are on a little bit more of an adult version of one of those inflatables that's got a nice little staircase to it, and it's just covered in Dawn dish soap. And you are legitimately trying to fight against grown men trying to get to the top of the mountain. There's no assistance in ropes or anything to be able to help you out at. I think that the skill that you might need for slippery slopes or slippery stairs is you need good feet. You gotta have good grippers. But there was actually a rule, Drew, that was passed last year to where you can't use your toenails or your toes to dig into the actual surface because I guess people were not cutting their toenails and they were getting a little bit more of a claw. So love to paint that image for everybody. But slippery stairs, I think, would be a good one between any of the three of us because you don't really need to be that much of an athlete. You just need to be a little bit balanced and not fall. So
Okay.
slippery stairs.
Wait, we're ranking top 5 sports, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's my number one then. All right. So, my number two then, I'll go with pretty standard one, but I'll go with Papa Shot. I feel like it doesn't get its moment in the sun. I feel like you only really see it in the dark lit times of a Dave and Buster's or a
Yep.
dive
Oh,
bar or
yeah.
something like that. So I'll put
Or a
that as my
janky state fair. Yeah.
janky state fair where the hoop is smaller than the actual
Yeah.
basketball is.
Yeah, an oval shape hoop.
Yep. So I'll put that as my number two. Wiffle ball. I think that I've seen a lot of it on social media and just a couple of different kind of clip type videos there. So put that down as my number three. Same world. I'll do adult kickball at number four. I feel like again, between the three of us, we could dominate. I've been in a few kickball tournaments in my day and
Love
I
kickball.
love kickball.
feel like I could, do some damage out there. And then my fifth one, just because I literally have no idea what it is, I did not do as much research as I did on slippery stairs, and it would be bed races, which I can only imagine is that you are racing beds.
That
So,
is wild.
so those would be my top 5 sports to watch out for Ocho weekend.
Sweet. Matt, did you want to go or would you like me to go?
You go.
Okay, I will go. My number 5, give me chainsaw championships. If you
Hell
just want
yeah.
to see a jacked up horsepower chainsaw ripping through the logs, I'd love to be that. Just be with a bunch of grown men with big beards and just enormous forearms. I think that would be sick.
Drew, does everybody have to wear flannel for that event? Do you think that's a
It's a
requirement?
requirement.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure.
You have to wear suspenders too, as well, and with
The way that
jeans.
they know each player is by it's the red flannel, the green flannel, the blue flannel. It's all the same flannel from Target, but just in every different shade.
Number 4, give me lawnmower racing. Just oval racing lawnmowers. That'd be sick. More horsepower. Give me lawnmower racing at 4. 3, give me speed cup stacking. I don't know if you guys had that
Nice.
in elementary school.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's
yep.
stacking the cups
yep.
and then boom.
Dude. That game used to be, oh my God, we would play that so much.
I had way too many colored cups as a kid. I was spoiled.
Hell yeah.
Give me that number 3. Number 2, give me national putt.
That's
National putt.
Yeah.
Not miniature golf, but just your straight path, curve path, putt. Think I could do okay in that. And then my number 1, the mullet championships. Give me like a year. I used to have a mullet, but give me a year. I could grow it back really sick. Give me mullet championships at number 1. I think I could win that. And then
Easy.
Matt, there's one I really want to mention, but I'm gonna bring it up later. And then honorable mention, card jujitsu. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
No.
Choking each other with the seatbelt. They're behind it. It's ridiculous.
It's so obscene. It's so obscene.
Yeah, card jujitsu. So that was my top 5. So Matt, I'll let you go ahead.
All right, so my number 5 and 4 were on Jake's list, the wiffle ball and the kickball. Dude, I was scrolling through the list. Number 3, I don't know why the hell it's on there. Microsoft Excel Championship.
Yes.
I feel like I could do some serious damage on there.
Please wait, time out. Have you seen any of the clips from the championship before? Because
No.
well, one, you can't use a mouse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
just need because that's like a huge because for me, I like to think that I'm decent at that type of stuff, but if I don't have
Yeah.
a mouse, I'm screwed.
Dude, I need my mouse. I need
Yeah.
it. But
Matt.
still.
Give me some your top keyboard shortcuts on
Oh my
Microsoft
God.
Excel.
Are we power ranking our shortcuts?
I'm sure
The
people
if
would
then
hate
function
me.
on Excel is my favorite by far.
Dude, this one's low-key a dark horse. It's you just press F4 after doing something and it repeats the same function that you did. So if you're deleting a row or column or inserting one, you just click F4 and it repeats the same thing. It saves you so much time.
And this episode was brought to you by Microsoft Excel.
Number two, I got table tennis. I think I would really be good at that. And then number 1, paintball. Dude,
Oh,
my,
this guy.
my Call of Duty KD was legit growing up. I feel like I could translate that to the paintball course. Let's go. Give me paintball.
Yeah, you give Matt a few Mountain Dews and he's wrecking up paintball for sure.
some Mountain Dews and Doritos and your boys cooking.
It would have to be individual paintball because you're a terrible teammate.
Don't ask me to cover for you. I'll save my
That's
own
good.
ass.
All right. Well, that wraps up ESPN The Ocho, and that wraps up the show as well. Thank you for everybody tuning in for our episode Ocho. So make sure if you like the episode, hit the like button, subscribe, follow the TikTok. We're putting on memes on Twitter or X. Follow on the Spotify if you want the audio version, but yeah, you get both. You get video and audio. But that'll do it for this week of Bros in the Bleachers podcast.
Audio.
See y'all.